I'll know when people are here, right?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you in 2 seconds. Forgot to get my toolkit. Abby, I don't want to sit on your tail.
You might want to check my email to see if that's our special guest. And I'm going to. All right, so I'm on. Good morning. And I want to. Well, I definitely want to wait until people are here. We have a very special guest today. And I want to make sure first, can everybody hear me?
Shannon Meyer says hello.
Hello,
so
Shannon.
I was waiting to see if people could hear
you. Okay, so people can hear me? Everyone can hear me?
Looks like it. Yes, Kim Nishida says good morning.
Good morning.
Ali Merrick Hargrove says good afternoon, lovely.
A couple of announcements. Number one, and if you're new to me, I always forget my intro. If you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, healer, TEDx speaker, and founder of Communication with All Life University. And we have programs for people to become animal communicators, energy healers, and we're developing a nature and wildlife part of the school. We have the intensive coming up this Friday, and we have we're doing 6 people in person and the rest are online. And we've got we've got animal communication level 1 starting in October, on October 21st, and on November 12th we start energy healing for animals. And so all of those are live calls, have live calls, and are a lot of fun, and I'm happy to talk about those because I've had a lot of questions about classes, so I may do a little separate live on that. And then also, I have an ebook that is in my, it's part of the level 1, or if you buy Animal Communication Fundamentals, it's the first kind of little manual on animal communication. And I just had it re-edited by my fancy editor. And I did it a while ago, but it's taken me forever to get it up. Anyway, I have it on sale through tonight for $3.99. $3.99. So for $3.99, you can go to Amazon and get Animal Communication 101 and get started and learn a little bit, even just how I, do sessions, like what that looked like when I used to. So anyway, we have our very special guest here. And is anyone else saying hi?
Yeah, so going all the way back. Tanya Hoffy says, hello, everyone. Kim Nishida says, video is not great, but maybe it's me. It's
my Wi-Fi. You'll see when you're here next week, Kim.
Lorraine Bollinger says, good morning, everyone. Penny says, hi. Winston and I say hello. Bonnie Park says, hello, says hi. Gaynor says, hi, guys. Hi, Gaynor.
Hi, Gaynor.
Jane says, good morning, everybody.
Okay.
Allie Mary Hargrove says she just bought that Amazon book. Thanks for the sale. Cool. It's actually StreamYard, and we have to use StreamYard when we interview someone because of.
Well, we are going to bring on our special guest, and she's going to tell us all about what she does, which is very cool. She's got great energy and is so amazing. Her name is Amanda, and she has Sama Dog Well-Being, and we're going to hear all about it. So let's, of course, I'm going
to bring her on.
My glasses are dirty. Can't see anyway. There we go. That really didn't help. There she is. Ta-da!
Can she? We can't hear her.
Okay, we have to unmute.
Oh, she's muted. Hold on.
Now we got it.
There we go.
Good morning.
Oh, technology. Hello. Good morning. So great to be here with you guys.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
You just did a live. I'm good. I'm really good.
Oh, I love being here with you guys. Yeah, we just got off of our live. We're doing a series this week called Week of Wellness, where we're featuring a different area of wellness for your dog and doing a little session on it. So we just were talking about itchy and problem skin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Good topic. So I know that a lot of my students have taken your classes because I consider it elective for our program, and I usually get to teach with you. I get to teach in it, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I would love to talk about what you do and how you got started. So I think let's if you could do like an overview of what you do, and then tell us how you got started, and then we can go into more of the products that you have now.
Great. Yeah. So what I do with Sama Dog is create wellness opportunities, really cater to all areas of wellness in our dogs' lives with the foundation of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the holistic healing system of India. It's the sister science. If you guys haven't heard of it before, it's the sister science to yoga and meditation. And so they kind of call it like the three legs of the stool. So that's where it fits in the world. And I have been studying Ayurveda for almost 20 years now, which I recalculated the other day just to make sure that number was accurate. So it made me feel
44.
What? I know. No, it's just time. So yeah, I've been studying it a long time. My primary teacher has been Dr. Deepak Chopra, who I've been very closely working with and on the staff of the Chopra world for 15 years now. So we have traveled the world. I was the event facilitator and MC and one of the lead educators there, and hosted, the experiences. So we traveled the world teaching and meeting and helping people to absorb this information for themselves. So to see countless beings be so taken by Ayurveda and healed by it was deeply inspiring, and obviously was like the wind in my sails for many years and continues to be. And then a big gust of wind kind of came, you could say it like that, about 8 years ago now, when I started fostering dogs in the home. I've always had a very, very close relationship with animals. A dog saved my life when I was 3 years old. I was drowning in the pool in the backyard and probably would not be here if it wasn't Prince or Sheltie, who jumped in and saved me and was my bestie until he passed when he was like 17 years old. And I always just was closest friends with animals, far more comfortable with them than humans. And those were everything to me. I think a lot of us can probably relate to that. And so, you can't even explain it really, like that kindred connection, that soul bond. And I felt it before I even had any words for it. I felt it. And so fast forward all those years to fostering rescue dogs, just having the house full of them, so many all the time. And I started to notice finally that they had imbalances that looked a lot like humans. For instance, nervousness and anxiety and worry, or intensity and aggression and just like overheating and inflammation, or withdrawal, and they don't want to look at you and they want to hide and they just don't want to be there anymore. And when I saw especially those kinds of tendencies in animals that were out of balance, I realized, well, those are the doshas. And in Ayurveda, the doshas, which is doshas for anybody new to the conversation, doshas are our mind-body type, or our constitution, or the type of energy that we have in our physical self, as well as like the way we think and process information and our emotions. So when I started to see in the dogs, like, wow, they actually are, I can see the doshas expressed in them. Let me just look that up. So I went online, Ayurveda for dogs, literally found nothing. Like, well, there was one old ancient textbook in India with like this very scary dog on the cover, and that was it. And I thought, okay, well, that's not where I'm going to find information. And so I just started creating it myself, reaching a lot to traditional Chinese medicine. Ayurveda is the oldest healing system on the planet, it's said. So traditional Chinese medicine came from it, but yet like created itself more, especially around animal wellness. And so I'm able to go there and kind of see if things will be safe or if there's any contraindications or whatnot. And then I just went for it. I just started applying all the principles as I knew them and taught them for humans, and the dogs healed miraculously. I mean, it was profound. They're so porous. They just took it right in, way easier than humans, I have to say. Probably because humans have that like ego boundary, right? It's like, is this going to work? I don't want to take those herbs every day. So
I'm not going to eat broccoli.
Yeah. Even if it is good for me, I don't even like Brussels sprouts. And so dogs will just be like, all right, feed me the Brussels sprouts, put some ghee on it and I'll eat it. And you do. Yeah. And they will. And then, it was profound to see the changes and the healing, even the rescues that we were working with and, connecting with, they were blown away. I mean, these dogs were coming with all these medicine protocols, and I was kind of bypassing that a little safely in some cases and just trying it out. And the dogs were so good behaviorally as well. So I was just like, yeah, we need to bring this into the world. And as I sat with that more, I can say this among this kind of group. In the general public, I don't really say this that much, but I feel like the spirit of dogs took over my heart and soul. Something like you would, I don't have words for it, but I started dreaming about it constantly. All I could do, I was like obsessed. I'm still obsessed with the thoughts of how to integrate this knowledge to help animals and their human companions. And so there was no stopping it. I was the vice president at the Chopra Center at that time. And I literally just went into work one day and I just blurted it out. I don't even know what happened. I was like, I need to leave my job. I need to go do this. And I need to start a company. And they were like, okay, it was a moment because all has always been so great there. And I continue to serve and be with the Chopra group. I'm going to be with them after this call, actually help the students all around the world that are learning meditation. So anyway, that's where it all began. And then Sama Dog has just continued. I started teaching what I call doshas for dogs at the Chopra Center, just in their little like small weekly course there. And then it just grew and grew. And now we have a whole series of courses. We do one-to-one. I do one-to-one consultation. I have a whole array of supplements and products that are doshically oriented. We have a B&B here at our house that we take dogs in. So lots of good stuff.
You really went to the dogs.
I did.
I want to backtrack to about 5 things, but first I wanted to say, one is, I always thought it was my idea that the school, when I realized that I stood receptive and allowed it to come through, and I kind of had nothing to do with it. And I feel when you were saying that about that, like the more I allow, the more people come, and because it is something. There are a lot of people out there that probably could do this, but we've said yes to it. Do you know what I mean? And that's a huge thing. And I say yes to what you're doing and applaud you 100,000,000% because it's just so great.
Well, because of you, Joan, you give me the courage, the inspiration, the direction, the leadership, the mentorship. I mean, truly all of that I received from you and how to do this because, it's uncharted territory a little bit.
I know. Yeah. And we've had some great talks and we were hoping to do something in person this spring and next spring.
Yeah. 2021 is our year. But at least we've got it digital until then, at least.
Yeah, for sure. So what I'd love to, a lot of my students right now are in, the electives that they have to do are body work and energy work. And, so right now a number of students, because we created some online acupressure classes, but I considered like the food more sort of an energetic class because I know you teach a lot around food and you have a big thing coming up. What are some of the likenesses? And I knew that, it's just almost like the Ayurvedic and is the first to the Chinese medicine, just like the, what is the feng shui version in India? It's, we know Vastu, right? And we know Robin and Michael. Yeah. Yeah, we've discovered we had a bunch of mutual people. That's so wonderful. So what did Chinese medicine kind of borrow from this? I mean, what is really dosha, and then the constitution of, like, say, a fire dog or a water dog, was that all taken from the doshas?
Basically, yeah. When you boil it all down, it all is the same thing. And we're really looking at the elements. They've got slightly different elements that they have metal, and Ayurveda has ether. So there's like a few different nuances. What Ayurveda or yoga calls prana, traditional Chinese medicine calls qi. There's many correlations in that way. But when you really look at the root and like what it all boils down to, the basics of it, it's exactly the same. It's noticing the elemental structure, the elemental makeup of our being, and then bringing in the balance, bringing in the opposites, because opposites balance. So if something, just very simply said, if something's too light and airy, ground it, root it, make it heavier. If something's hot, make it cooler. If something's cool, make it warmer. So, you just kind of look at not just very simply said, but you look at that elemental structure, you examine or learn what your animal's dosha is, or, in traditional Chinese medicine, you would assess their constitution. And then you would then know what steps to take and what is needed in order to restore them to balance. And by the way, that's what Sama means. Sama is also a Sanskrit word, like Sama Dog. And Sama means like that essential equanimity, harmony, homeostasis that is natural. And when a body and a mind is in that place, it heals itself. It can heal itself from the most extreme ailments. It can heal itself from chronic illness. It can heal itself from degenerative disease. It can heal its mind from emotional disturbance. It can do that if it's given the chance, especially in animals' body. Well, we're animals too, so we can. But like we said, we're a little bit trickier sometimes. But so that's the big idea. And by the way, people, if they're curious, can learn their dog's dosha. I have a quiz. It's at samadog.com/quiz. And then you just it's like 3 minutes to fill it out, and you can learn if it's vata, pitta, or kapha. Those are the 3 dosha types. And then from there, they'd be directed to a page that makes a little more sense of that and gives some recommendations.
Cool. So when you look at like a dog that's nervous, would you say what would be the opposite for that?
A nervous dog is typically going to have a vata imbalance. Vata is air and space, so I call them like airy dogs. So these are your dogs that, of course, are really, just anxious, fearful, ungrounded, reactive, nervous Nellies, let's call them. So what we need to do, they're light and dry. And so I think of it as a balloon that's lost its tether. So they're starting to kind of float away. And I think vata is one especially that we can all relate to. We can all relate to the nervous dog because we are nervous humans sometimes. We just don't show it in the same way. We don't do that. Right. But we do other things. But what happens with us is we get sleepless. We have insomnia. We can't think straight. We can't remember our train of thought. We forget people's names. We go into the room and we forget why we went in there. We are just like, we're all
never done that.
I know. We've got 4 different emails started. None of them were complete. None of them even get sent. And then you're like mad at the person the next day why they didn't respond. And then you realize,
believe it.
That is quintessential vata. And when our dogs, like they're not, dealing with their emails, but they are taking that, they're expressing it in different ways. So what do we want to do? We want to bring the opposite, which is warm, moist, and oily. We want to ground them, put them down on earth and lubricate them. So through food, through aroma, through touch, through meditation techniques. We have all kinds of meditations that we guide for animals, like you do in your beautiful ways and all of your instruction too. Like that connection that is beyond the words that we can have with them can, especially for nervous dogs, soothe their soul and soothe their mind.
That's really great. And then how else do you work with food? I mean, I know food is a big component for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once we know what the dog's dosha is, we are able to then, even as simple as like choose the protein source. If they are eating meat and aren't vegetarian dogs, then, well, even if they're vegetarian dogs, we can still choose the protein source that is most balancing for them. So say for that nervous dog, you don't want to give them food that is going to intensify their energy. So let's use the example to make it tangible of chicken. So chicken, think of the energy of the chicken. We call it a chicken with its head cut off, right? They're squirrely and they're flighty and they are all over the place. And that's going to perpetuate that energy in our animals. Not to mention it's warming. So for some animals, that wouldn't be the ideal. So in the case of Vata, however, we would want to bring more grounding foods into there, warm, moist, and oily, as I mentioned. And so we would want to like literally add oils and add like a rehydrated food or avoid raw, like completely raw. That is really good when in balance. And for Pitta, the fiery type animals that can digest raw food really easily, just like a fiery type of person can digest a raw salad super easy. But a person that's a little more frail or a little more weak, a raw salad is actually very difficult to digest. Right. And so same for our dog. So if we are feeding raw, like maybe we just warm it up or we switch that food for a little while or just add a little bit of raw into maybe like a reconstituted or a home cooked. They have all these great brands now that are made and packaged, home cooked basically and packaged and sent like, Ollie or the farmer's dog or Just Food for Dogs. All these are really great foods. So those are awesome for that dosha. For the Pitta dosha, the fiery one, we want to cool them down to the simplest things like coconut oil. We just taught about that in my Facebook Live. Just cools down the inflammation in the body, cools down the energy in the mind. It's slightly antimicrobial and antibacterial naturally, so it can get rid of some of the skin irritation that sometimes will occur. And so you want to do like cooling meats for them, like duck is a really good example, rabbit. And then the third dosha, kapha, that's the earthy energy. Now these guys are a little more heavy. Earth and water is their elemental structure. So they're a little more slow and steady, can be very loyal, devoted, easygoing dogs, no drama. They don't need a job. They don't need to like go do agility. They aren't those dogs. But they are dogs that are out of balance. Yeah, they just chill. But then when they're out of balance, they'll become too heavy, too much earth. So with them, it's like the opposite, right? If it gets too heavy, what do we want to do with the lightness, right? To lighten, to oppose it. And so with that, we want to go like for a lighter meat, like a turkey. For also veggies, cruciferous vegetables, green leafies, awesome for kapha. Because that heaviness with the earth and the water, it also gets like think of earth and water when it comes together, it makes mud. So it kind of makes it sticky and heavy. And so that the bitterness in the veggies will leach astringent, it's astringent quality, will leach the water, the extra moisture out, and that'll help detoxify the body. So these are all the details, as you can tell, that I like to get into through our courses because it's super interesting. There's so many things and ways we can bring balance.
No, I love your teaching. I think it's awesome. And you just have such an easy way with things. Do we have questions?
Well, a lot of people are just loving this, but someone actually, Kathita Marie wants to know, what about cats?
Do you have much about cats?
Yeah, it totally works just the same for cats. Sama Dog clearly is more dedicated or kind of pinpointed towards dogs, but I've consulted one-to-one with cat families before, and they most definitely have doshas. They get out of balance in the same way through their doshas. The only thing, when it comes to herbs and foods, it's more specific for cats because they're carnivores, where dogs can have more of that, omnivore diet. So you get into some specifics there, but otherwise the cooling meats, the warming meats, the astringent nature of foods, we take into strong account the environment. That's what's also unique about Ayurveda. It's looking at every single one of us as a unique individual, as a separate recipe of elements. And it's also taking into account that it applies to all beings, in the very similar way. So when Ayurveda is looking at any circumstance, it's looking at, what is the foundation of that being and how can we make some adjustments to work for what that animal needs. So that's a cool part of it, when we go applying it to cats. So yeah. Oh, but I was mentioning the environment. That's what I was saying. The environment, the people around us, our family energy, our vibes. Let's call it that. I know you talk a lot about vibes. I've learned so much from you. That has a huge impact on our animals. So I really try to help people to see, like, if they're in the middle of a stressed out time, if their, family is going through a health challenge and they have a senior family member in the home that they're nursing, or if they've just moved or lost a job or declared bankruptcy, all of these things are affecting our animals so strongly. But I'm preaching to the choir here, so that's enough on that.
No, but I love, I do the direct route of communication and then maybe whip in some healing energy, but all the things that you're talking about are such important support for day by day that it's, that it just adds to, it's the daily bread, if you will, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And what is
Claudia,
it?
Anyway,
yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I love that. Someone wrote Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu. I'm going to whip something out. Oh, my sleeve is too tight. My sleeve's too tight. And I don't want to be weird and disrobe in front of all my new friends, but I have that tattoo. You have to envision it right here. I have that tattoo. Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavantu.
That's the one I'm going to.
Okay. I would.
So let me go.
There's questions, comments?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I can't see without.
Okay. So I'm going to go all the way back to when we were talking about how animals respond much quicker to Ayurveda than people because of the ego factor.
And now I want to also figure out my horses. But anyway, go ahead.
She said, everything says, hi, Penny. I think animals are more accepting than humans. I noticed them accepting healing easier than humans. This is so exciting to hear, Amanda.
Yeah. People are loving this.
Oh, God, I love you guys.
Yeah. Shannon Myers says she loves Ayurveda. She studied it with her health coaching for humans.
Yeah,
too.
Shannon studied it for humans.
It's great.
So did Penny.
A lot of yoga teacher training programs will teach a little bit about Ayurveda also, like if you're being certified to teach yoga. So that's a nice way to dip their toe in.
Yeah. Sue Harris says, I love this. Can't wait to learn more.
Yeah. Sue, I could see you doing this as an elective.
Yeah.
You may be already done with your electives, but you never know.
No, I'm done with my electives, but I will be doing,
Yeah, we're all learning junkies here.
Yeah. Rachel, she loves this so much. She asked what the website is, and Yasmin actually put the website, and so did Sue. It's I'm going to repeat it for those who want to know. It's www.samadog.com, and that is www.samadog.com. Jean Tyler Taylor says, love this, following my dosha recommendation since last year. It's amazing. Yasmin says, this is so interesting for my dogs.
I know, Yasmin for Ruby. I think this would be amazing.
Yeah.
And I also have to talk to Yasmin about some acupressure points. But yeah.
I wish I had this for me. But yeah. So Lorraine Bollinger says, I can't absorb it so quickly. I can so use all of this.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you know what? Here's the thing, is maybe you won't absorb it all here, but there is some stuff coming out that I know that you're about to announce, so I can't talk about it either. But Amanda, you have a big something coming up, and we have a discount for my people with, what is the
code is Ranquet.
code?
Yep, Ranquet.
Okay.
So I can explain a little bit, shall I?
Okay, yes.
Okay. So well, one thing I just wanted to share what I enjoy, and I'm sure most of us enjoy about learning Ayurveda, is that it applies to us too. So even though it's in the context of animals, that through Sama Dog, obviously, you are learning the foundational principles, totally. And with what I'm going to share with you, you get to learn from some of the best out there. So that's what we have coming up. Joan is one of our guest educators in total well-being for dogs. I'm so excited. Yay. We do this course once a year. It's getting better and better every year. This is going to be no different. We have 6 amazing presenters that are the experts, the top experts in their field. And what we do is we break down the 6 pillars of well-being. And every week, it's a 6-week course online. It starts on October 10th. So just a couple weeks. And so it's Saturday mornings. They're recorded. They're on Zoom and they're recorded. Of course, if people can't make it Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. And then we are with one of our guest educators. And the foundation is Ayurveda. You actually have a prerequisite to this course called Ayurveda for Dogs 101 that you do need to take beforehand. And that for your beautiful community, Joan, is our gift, is I'm going to give them that course, Ayurveda for Dogs 101, which is a $100 course. It's comprehensive, 3 modules, really gives you the whole understanding of the basics and how to apply it to dogs. And then you go into this course where you get into this is what the 6 pillars are. It's Ayurveda 102 with Dr. Suhas, who is one of the best Ayurvedic practitioners in the world. I met him through the Chopra Center and he teaches there and he's phenomenal. So he'll be with us. This is his first time and I think only time ever talking about dogs in the context of Ayurveda, but he's really excited. So I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. And then we get into food with Dr. Katie Kangas, our holistic vet, one of the best in the country. She's on our shows all the time. Then we get into training and communication and connection, and that's with Zoe Sandor, also an amazing trainer. She was on Cat versus Dogs on Animal Planet. She was there with Jackson Galaxy. They were teamed up to help people. She's an excellent dog trainer, so she'll be with us. Then we get into mind-body connection. That's where we talk about balancing through senses. So we have Susan Weiss-Bolin, who is a top Ayurvedic teacher. She's written several books on the topic, some of the bestsellers out there. And she's going to talk about each of the senses. So sight, what do dogs interpret through sight? What balances them? What imbalances them? Touch, smell, and sound. And then we get into our conversation with you around communication, connection, energy work. How do we go deeper into the more subtle realms of our animals and help them heal? And then we have our final conversation with Kathleen Prasad. Sorry, thought I got her name wrong there. Kathleen is an amazing woman who brought together animal Reiki all these years ago, and she will be teaching that and also like some additional energy work and chakras and whatnot. So we go from the gross to the subtle, and we have an extraordinary voyage, Q&A calls to help answer all the questions, tons of resources. So it's a lot of fun, and we invite all of you. We'd love to have you there. You know, many of Joan's students in the past have come, and your students have loved it. We've become all very close, and it's a great partnership that we have.
Yeah, it is a great partnership. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so if people want to do this, you haven't announced it yet, is that right? Or you will announce it?
It actually is not officially open. The cart is not open and registration is not open until Friday officially. But we're letting you guys in early because we didn't want to miss this opportunity. And I know I hope, of course, and intent that there's some people that would want to do this. So the link, the page to go to is totalwellbeingfordogs.com. totalwellbeingfordogs.com. And then you'd register there. It's a little tricky. I'll explain one thing with your code. This is just kind of how we had to do it so that we can identify you guys, is when you put in Ranquet, it will give you $1 off. It's not because I'm being cheap. It just looks that way so that we can associate that to you and Joan. And then we'll be in touch with you and we'll give you your prerequisite of Ayurveda for Dogs. The whole course, you'll get into the platform, the learning platform, and you'll get to start accessing that right away.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's our plan. And I'm super excited about this year because, for me and Sama Dog, this year, as challenging as it has been in the world, because I've been stuck in this house as we all have, for so many months, I've really made a lot of headway in the work, in the creations, and our resources, and all of our materials, and our, I've taken the time to go through all the ebooks and, just like really clean everything up and make it as excellent as possible.
We've done the same thing. I feel like it's been a weird year, but it hasn't been a bad year. I mean, I'm aware, and my heart goes out to the people that have been sick, lost someone, lost a job, lost a business. I mean, I'm so deeply aware of how painful that is. And also, I can't not acknowledge my gratitude for this time also, that I've been able to hunker down and complete some things, and it's for the benefit of all, right? Like you being home, which we wouldn't normally do. We'd be out. Thankfully, I can still get out with my dogs in the morning, but we'd be out and about, and it's grounded the material even more for the greater good. So I'm aware it's been a very hard year for a lot of people, and I'm grateful for this year myself.
Me too.
Yeah. And I'm not crying. I have coconut oil in my eye. I keep going.
It's emotional. Someone asked here. Oh, good. Look, they help each other out. I love it. Our Facebook Live did that this morning too. Like someone would ask a question and someone else on the live would answer it. And this shows that our students I'm so grateful for you guys. Truly, truly. And I know I speak for Joan too, like deep in our hearts. Like, obviously we love this. This is what we do with our whole lives. We live and breathe it. It means so much when people take it, right? When they take it, they love it. They're interested in it. They consume it, they share it, their dogs are changing. Like, there's just nothing as fabulous as that, and inspiring. It gives me so much desire to want to keep creating all the tools that we are and the community that we are. Because, this is not just about the dogs. I mean, you all know that more than anybody. This is about us.
Right.
This is about the deepest
planet.
Part of us. Yes, this is about the deepest parts of us that maybe we never tap into or access. And we are accessing it through these conversations because of the vulnerability and the trust and the safety that we feel around animals. And so we are able to come into this with that protection.
And it's also absolutely, I say that actually, like when you look at the innocence in an animal, you're often reflected back a certain innocence of yourself that you haven't seen or touched in so long. And animals offer that to us. And by being in this community, we're creating safety with humans. And that's what I feel like this work could save the planet. This work could create world peace. This work of getting this quiet, connecting with another is what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, it's taken a lot for our world to kind of be pushed in this direction. But maybe now more than ever, we're ready. We're less distracted. We're listening with a renewed set of ears. And our animals are whispering. They're whispering, and they're here to help us. I know this wonderful woman that has helped me over the years. I met her through Chopra. She was raised in South America. I can't remember. I think it was Peru. She was like literally raised in the trees. And she was there until she was like 30 years old when she merged from the trees. So she has a relationship with nature like no one I've ever met. And she constantly reminds me that yes, we are here to help the animals. Sama Dog, your organization, every single one of us as practitioners, we're here to help the animals, but really the animals are here to save us. And the sooner we'll let them, the better we all will be for it. Makes me emotional.
Yeah, I know. It's more than coconut oil at this point. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful exchange. I mean, and we have to be there, and especially those of us that are used to giving, we also have to learn to receive. You know, we have to be in that exchange for sure.
Yeah.
You know, one thing way back early in the conversation when you were saying you didn't see anything about what eventually became Sama Dog. When I first was writing energy healing for animals, I didn't find much about EFT for animals. So it's fun to bring something forth.
Yes. Well, that's one of the ways I found you was specifically through EFT for animals, because I was wondering if it worked. And then our mutual friend, Kate, she said, Joan teaches exactly what you're trying to figure out. And so here I came into your world, and, so that is wonderful, because these techniques, they're so powerful, and not to mention they've been working for thousands of years. These are not anything new. They are just old wine rebottled. And
exactly.
And just as potent as they've ever been, if we're open to it, and if we, kind of just stay dedicated to it, because very different. I think we all know this too. But what's so different from the Western model with what we're talking about is that it's like a one pill fixes things. So like, my dog is freaking out on a leash. Every time I'm walking down the street, they're lunging and barking and snarling. What do I do? And like, people in many cases want like an answer for that real quick. And there is no quick answer for any of these issues. And yet it doesn't need to be super complicated. It really is just learning how to bring your dog to balance. But then it's like, well, how do I do that? And that's where, some education is needed. But yeah, it's something that isn't fast and easy. And so it does require an investment of our time to learn it, an investment of our time and effort and energies to provide it. And yet it's so effective and it lasts forever. Like, here's a quick example of my direct application of Ayurveda. Was 2 years ago. I just saw it on the calendar. At almost exactly 2 years ago, we brought into our lives our beautiful Bernedoodle, Violet. And so she's a big, giant, fluffy, amazing woman. And when she came to our home to live with us, she had all kinds of emotional problems. She was super freaked out and was basically hiding behind a couch for her whole life. They would even need to feed her back there because she wouldn't come out. And this is a 95-pound dog. So it's, big girl. So that was the reason they were just like, we can't do this dog anymore. And so that's how we came together. Then when they delivered her to us, they brought a medical record, literally this fat, and it like thunked on the table. I'm like, what is that? And they said, that's her. Those are all her medical records. Make sure you had them. She was only 2 years old. I started medical records. She was at the vet every 4 to 6 weeks with ear infection, UTI, ingrown toenails, blister, eye infection, abscessed tooth. Like, I couldn't believe how many physical ailments this dog had. Clearly, it was because of the mind-body connection that she was so unwell. But it took us probably 3 months to get her into a better mental space. And her physical body changed. I brought her to Dr. Katie that first time. We did a whole protocol, lots of tests and assessments. She had little bumps and lumps. And so we tested all that, got her on her protocol of herbs. And that dog has not been back to the vet since. Not once. And she is healthy and happy. She's right here. She is right here. She is a big girl. I'll show you guys. There's her beautiful self. Violet. Hi, pretty mom.
Hi, girl.
There's her wagging tail. Oh, I can never operate this, but I'm trying to maneuver it in the one direction or the other. Like a drunk driver. You got excited, huh, Mama? Oh, the tail's really lapping now. But she is so happy and healthy. She hasn't had any of those ailments. And it's not because we've given her a bunch of medicine. It's because we've given her a lot of goodness in other forms. And she's healed. Her family now, when I send pictures and videos, they can't even believe that's the same dog. So, the power is in our hands.
It is. Any last question, Claudia?
It's been lighting up. I'm just,
Everybody's loving it. It's just so
I love you guys. We should do more. Oh, there's Jeannie Taylor, Chopra devotee for 20 years. Jeannie, have we met before? I wonder. I'm sure if you've been around that long, I'm sure we have. I'm like the furniture around that place. Like the old antique. I've been
Paula Wheeler took the course,
and she loved it.
And she absolutely loved it. Yeah, I know there's a few of you here that took it a couple of years ago when I first started.
Cindy Gans Turner says she's registered now.
Okay, so people are already registered. That's awesome.
Kim Nishida says, love this conversation. This is the best community. If I spoke to my family about this, they would humor me but think I was nuts. LOL. You're not alone.
Yeah. Well, this is your family, Kim.
Exactly. I was just going to say.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then Maria Valentine says, thank you. I'm looking forward to the Ayurveda for a dog's gift. Lorraine Bollinger says, I needed this 2 weeks ago. So did I.
Yeah.
Jean Taylor says, no, are you kidding me? I would have already been to your site if she knew you.
Oh, you're going to recognize a lot of it. No, it's like the same, like even the way I teach Ayurveda is exactly in the sequence that we teach it through Perfect Health and we teach it for humans, so, I mean, it's Chopra through and through. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So good.
Well, you and I need to get on the phone.
That I'm here for questions too. The registration at totalwellbeingfordogs.com. I'll be here too afterwards. And because I get distracted, I'm Vata and Pitta for those that know Ayurveda. If I start typing things, I'll lose my train of thought altogether. So I have to stay focused. But if anybody has questions, I wanted to say, don't hesitate. I'm happy to share with you about the course or give more details. You'll see more on the page there. But certainly I am here to support you, now and through the rest of our lives, I hope, because it really is this chosen family that we've come to connect with, and we get each other. And we're here to talk about and learn about animals. But as I already said, like there's so much more available for us too. And so why not? If people come together in different groups and find such support and growth together in women's groups or meditation meetups or church groups that come together, like if there's a place for that unity, then it can certainly be here, and it is here with all of us as well. And this is such a great celebration to be with people that feel that too.
Absolutely. And
I will put the link up on the site.
Yeah, we'll put the link up in this group, and I'm going to put it also in the private Facebook group for the university. So we'll have it up and talk about it, and I'll put it out actually in a little newsletter tomorrow.
That's great. You're the best.
Yeah.
Joan.
So thank you. And I want to thank you for being here with us today. And we will definitely be seeing more of you. And we have to get on the phone at some point soon here.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So it's been planning what's next.
Yes, because I've already got something.
Oh, good.
I'm plotting.
Oh, boy.
I see a couple of my teammates on the line, so they just all took a collective sigh right there. Oh, gosh. The ladies are at it again.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll get all this info out all over, all directions. And keep doing what you do, because it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, so sincerely. I'm grateful to be connected. I'm grateful for your love and support, Joan. It means everything. And I can't wait to get to know many of you even better. Let's connect soon. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.